Niche, designer. Which is superior after you factor in quality, cost, versatility, artistry? Today, I'm not answering that question. No. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today what we're doing is taking a look at 10 different designer fragrances that outclass niche. Now that is kind of a loaded title. It's not kind of a loaded, it's a loaded title. Because realistically, can you say X outweighs all of Z? No. So you can't say this designer is better than all niche, just like you can't say this niche is better than all designer. But what we are doing today is talking about some different designer fragrances that can absolutely hang with those niche scents. We got some doozies, just some absolutely fantastic stuff today. All of it linked in the description. Feel free to check it out down there. I keep clapping. I'm in a clappy mood. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of fragrances here, so let's just dive straight into it. I'm gonna kick things off with this one, Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. I absolutely love this fragrance. I think it's so well done. Presentation is pretty nice. I mean, it's a little bit simple, but it's modern, it's clean, and that's right. If you know, you know. The cap, it has a magnet. Insane Clown Posse's favorite or least favorite kind of cap, because they definitely are unsure about how this functions. Anyway, this is awesome. I love the fragrance. The opening is so attention grabbing. It's got this great sweetness to it. Oof, it's rich, it's decadent. I don't use that very often, that descriptor, but it is. And then it's really classy and mysterious and sexy as well. There's an oud note in here, but it doesn't come across off-putting. But what it does do is come across unique compared to most all other designer fragrances out there. I think the quality here is just bang on for the price. I mean, this stuff, I would buy at full retail and not have an issue whatsoever. So Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense, kicking this thing off. And also, Brioni Eau de Parfum, that one is really good also. And Eclat, that one I like as well. That one much fresher, more of a clean, woody scent profile. That one may be the best choice of the entire lineup for an office scent. But Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense, if you don't know about this, check this stuff out. It's one of those scents that your average person is not gonna know about, but people really into fragrances could use this as like a sort of a secret weapon. Gonna be more a fall and winter time evening scent. Before we jump to the next fragrance, here are a bunch of different codes that you can use to save money at a bunch of different websites. All right, did you check those out? Cool, let's keep it moving. The next one is from Hermes and it's Voyage d'Hermes. This is the Parfum edition of the fragrance. And this is another one that just, if you know, you know. The presentation is a little odd on this. As you can see, the bottle just kind of, you know, flips and flops around there and sit it down and there it is. There is one small issue with this presentation, and that's the buttons on the side here. They sometimes have a propensity to pop off. And not pop off in a good way. Not like, oh, we're popping off, but like, oh, it's broken popping off. This is another fragrance that just smells awesome. It smells like its own thing. You're not gonna find another designer fragrance out there that smells similar to this one that's coming out nowadays. That's not happening. It's extremely classy, has just the right amount of sweetness to it. So it's got this fresh, spicy sweetness when you first spray it on. That's classy, casual, and sexy all at the same time. Extremely pleasing. Little lemon off the top. You've got that spice I mentioned before, cardamom being the main spice. That's in this. You also have tea in there, so it has like a slight relaxing feel to it also. It's not cheap. You're gonna be looking at 80 bucks and up, even at discounters most of the time with this, but it's worth that price. The next one is from Cartier and it's Declaration Haute Fraîcheur. Now this smells absolutely stunning off the top. When you spray this on, I feel like in the opening, it can hang with about anything out there. And this one's also not that expensive. I think it's the cheapest one here and about 40 or 45 bucks from discounters. Oh, so good. The opening is just 10 out of 10 for me. Spring or summertime perfection. It has just the right amount of green in there that it's gonna remind you of the outdoors, extremely fresh, uplifting, very clean. And then it has that sweetness to take the edge off of the green aspect so that it doesn't go so far natural that you end up smelling like grass or something. The issue with this one, the drawback, is it does not project very far. And it also doesn't last a huge amount of time either. So the performance is not great. Easily the weakest fragrance that we're gonna talk about here today. But if you're just looking for something that has an amazing green opening, again, very fresh, sweet, a little sweet, with kind of a citrusy touch to it, this is one of the best. Just as far as the scent profile alone when you spray that on. After that, 1 Million Lucky. Now this may not be one that a lot of people go for in a list like this anyways, but 1 Million Lucky, I think, really does things in a pretty unique way, and it does it very well. It has a nice uniqueness to it. It's extremely easy to wear. It's a compliment puller. It has a nice melding and mixture of notes that give it both deepness and richness and a little bit of a dark edge to it, while at the same time having freshness and having a lighter edge to it as well. It stands alone really in the 1 Million line. There's nothing else in this line that smells similar to it. And it's kind of an odd duckling in that way, because this isn't your typical 1 Million that's very heavy on spice or really heavy on ambery sort of resins or vanilla sweetness. No, it's got plum in there, but then it also has like ozonic notes as well. Just extremely well done. A great designer fragrance. I wish we saw more stuff like this. Not smelling exactly like 1 Million Lucky, because at that point it becomes less interesting. But I mean, something that comes out of left field and does its own thing, but does it really well. Got another Cartier here. It's Pasha de Cartier Parfum. This is fantastic. Really high quality stuff. It does have an underlying barbershop-y feel to it. It's not as in your face as a straight up barbershop scent is going to be, but it has that Pasha de Cartier DNA in it, of course. So it's going to appeal more to guys middle-aged and older. Younger guys probably not gonna go for this as much because it is slightly more mature, more grown up, more elegant. And while there's a little sweetness in here, it's not the same type of sweetness as you're gonna find in 1 Million Lucky or even the Brioni over here. This is that aged kind of sweetness, you know, with that woodiness underneath. And while it's got a boozy note in there, it's not the same type of boozy note you're gonna find in, you know, those big date night fragrances, those big date night bangers. I questioned whether I should say date night bangers, and then I just went with it. It sounds like it's a very poor choice of words. So if you like classically masculine fragrances, but you want one that is a little bit more modern, that has a nice warmth to it, that's not as sharp off the top, gotta check this out. Let's go stronger with You Oud next from Emporio Armani. And there are a bunch of different stronger with yous that I think would work in this list. Absolutely, even intensely. Oud, of course, and then leather, all of those good choices. Stronger with You Oud has oud as a note, big surprise there. And also, probably not a big surprise, the oud is not really difficult to wear. Does it add a little edge to the fragrance? Yeah, a little bit. And could you even pick up some aspects of the scent that come across leathery, even though this is not stronger with you leather? Yeah, but at the end of the day, the main thing that's going to be at play here is vanilla. Extremely appealing. The vanilla in here is stunning. People love it. It's just magnetic, this scent. And really, most of the stronger with you fragrances, it's not just this one, to reiterate, pretty much all of them are really good at drawing attention. And then even though it's not listed, I believe, as an official note, it has that kind of glazed chestnut feel that you're gonna get from most stronger with you fragrances as well. And great performance to boot. Now, speaking of performance, this next one is insane, but I wanna just put it out there. Price-wise, this is basically niche prices. I really was like, should I put this in? Should I not? Because it can be just more expensive, frankly, than niche fragrances most of the time. And it can be difficult to find, but the quality here is just some of the best you're gonna find in the designer realm. It's from Dior. It is Dior Homme Parfum. Now, I don't say this lightly, but this is amazing, okay? This fragrance is, for me, a 10 out of 10. So is Dior Homme Intense, to be fair. But Dior Homme Parfum is just, there's not much you can say. It has that Dior Homme iris front and center. It's got leather and Brett. It has a chocolatey warmth to it. The quality is insane. The performance, like I said, is massive. You only need a couple sprays of this, and it is going to last and project and just be an absolute monster. So the times that you would use this, not super common. You know, it's basically winter during the evening in more formal situations. That's pretty much it. But just as far as how this stuff smells, it is exquisite. And I don't say that lightly. This is amazing. And also a complete pain in the butt to find. We move from there to Hugo Boss bottled Elixir. Amazing release from Hugo Boss here. They really crushed it, really crushed it, and took my expectations of Hugo Boss fragrances, Boss bottled specifically, from like here up to here. So the new one, if they flop, I'm gonna be very disappointed. A new Triumph Elixir, because more elixirs are needed, I guess. Great masculine scent, woody, spicy, rich, bold, very bold. Throws it back a little bit. You know, some of that old school vibe to it, but done in a modern way. Said it before, but reminds me of how Sauvage Elixir was approached. Not that it smells like Sauvage Elixir, but a similar mindset. Let's take a fragrance, let's do it in this very spicy, rich, woody, somewhat old school way, but make it more elegant, make it smoother, make it pop a little bit more, you know, a little more zing to it. That's what this is. It is just lights out for fall and winter time. Love the scent. And if the price on that drops over time, I'm not saying it will, but if it does at discounters, that is gonna be a steal. If you can pick this up for like 50 or 60 bucks in the future, man, that would be sick. Let's go Elixir again. Male Elixir. That's just, actually that's kind of weird. Basically just staring at a very miniature version of a man's butt, and I'm over here like, that one, yeah, oh wait. Oh, Male Elixir, what are you doing to me? He's in pretty good shape though. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, it's weird to me, this one. I love it so much. Just the sweetness, and it has like almost even a rubbery aspect to it, but in the absolute most pleasant way possible. Does not sound like it would be, but the way the sweetness hits with that sort of rubbery touch, the warmth in here, fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic. And that's another one that people love, go crazy for it. And while all of us in the fragrance community are about this, like this was my favorite release of last year, I think it's just absolutely stunning. Interestingly enough, in the United States, which the United States is not the world, obviously, but in the United States, not a top 30 bestseller. Not last year, anyway. Well, that's good, though, because that means us, the people that know, unfair advantage. We're wearing it when all those other suckers are wearing Sauvage. Got him. Last but not least, Reserve Privee from Givenchy. Yeah, these last three, man. These last three are just some of the better designers that have come out here recently. And you know, kind of funny, but this, in a way, is similar to the Gentleman line as this is to the Male line, which is, hey, let's have a nice fragrance here, add some boozy sweetness and ramp everything up and just make it elegant and sweet and sexy. The Gentleman line has some absolute stunners. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Iris used in a very, very pleasant way, versatile way, while not shying away from the iris. And this is possibly the pinnacle of the line. Reserve Privee, fall and winter, you cannot go wrong with this. So there we have it, 10 designer fragrances that can outclass niche, depending on what niche fragrance we're talking about. Yeah, I absolutely love each and every one of these. I think these are some of the best. Other than the performance of you. The performance sucks, man. You gotta work on that. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.